Hey everyone, happy college football. Welcome to Porcelain Picks. I'm your host, Andrew Fabian. It's Friday afternoon. We are just ahead of the college football playoff. Big weekend ahead with 4 nice matchups. Yes, even the group of 6 teams, those matchups are going to be at least worth watching for the first half. We at Porcelain Picks are here to deliver the locks you need as you scroll atop the porcelain throne. We're back after a 1-week hiatus. We haven't been doing a great job at delivering locks all season. We're now 1 game under 500, sitting at a record of 126 and 127. We guarantee we will be back in the green after this weekend. You can hold me personally to that. So Joey Mack taking a break this week. He's going to dive into some of the Mac Bowl games. Dixon also taking a break this week. We'll have him back for bowl games. We'll have him back for the next round of the college football playoffs. But it's just me today, folks. All right. Funny story in the Fabian household. So we've got, alma mater. My wife went to JMU. I went to Penn State. You see those flags up on the wall there? At least one team is representing in the playoff. Luckily, my wife doesn't watch this. She's not going to see the pick that is to come for JMU. But I will jump into the games. We've got a big matchup here Friday night. Oklahoma hosting Alabama. A college football playoff game in Norman, Oklahoma for the first time ever. This is a grass field. It's going to be a windy atmosphere. You better believe the crowd is going to be on high alert and ready and willing to push their team to victory. This game happened earlier in the season. Alabama was home for that game. Oklahoma won by 2 points. However, Alabama outgained Oklahoma by 200 yards. Which Sooners team is going to show up today? Are they going to be able to get after Ty Simpson and the Tide? Or is Alabama going to have some tricks up their sleeve? Well, right now, the spread at the time of this recording, Oklahoma -1.5, hosting Alabama. The over-under is set at, I believe it's 41.5. It's a low over-under. We're going to stay away from that because you never know what happens when teams come off of some rest. Oklahoma's been resting for 3 weeks now. Are they going to be coming out flat? Or are they going to be off to the races with a healthy John Mateer who's confident going against the Crimson Tide again? On Alabama's side, they are sputtering. They've never been in worse form than they are right now. Maybe if you take out that loss to Florida State, embarrassingly earlier in the season, but they scrape by Auburn in the Iron Bowl. They get absolutely embarrassed by Georgia in the SEC championship. They're buoyed up and held into the college football playoffs, so is that all they needed to just get momentum back? We'll see this evening. When I look at this matchup, I find it hard to think Ty Simpson's going to have a lot of time in the pocket to throw the football. He can be elusive when he needs to be, but he can also be under pressure with Alabama's offensive line and running games slacking so far this season, especially in the last few games. I think Oklahoma is the type of team that you do not want to match up against if you're Ty Simpson right now. What I've heard is Ty Simpson's been banged up. His back is a little hurt. He's been ginger during the practices leading up to this game. Oklahoma's pass rush is not the one you want to go up against. Brent Venables is going to have this defense roaring. They are going to be chomping at the bit to get after the quarterback, just like they did in the first time these teams matched up. I'm going to go with Oklahoma -1.5. I'm going to lock that up and flush that one. I'm very confident tonight that the Sooners are going to get it done at home. Their offense doesn't pose a huge threat. I think they're going to try to run the football. I do think Mateer is going to be confident and a little bit healthy. I don't think health has been his issue the last few weeks, but I do think Mateer is going to get it done with his feet as well. Oklahoma's offense is going to keep it simple. They're not going to try downfield passes. They're not going to risk any turnovers that may happen with the running game and with the wind and with what this field condition is going to be. Again, it's a grass field, so it's been 20 degrees all throughout the day in Norman, Oklahoma. We'll see how they maintain that field. It might be a disaster in the second half. Could lead to some unforeseen turnovers. But I do think Oklahoma's defense is going to swallow up Alabama's offense. With Ty Simpson not being 100%, with the running game being non-existent for the Tide, it's going to take a lot for this passing game to overcome that. I like Oklahoma in this game. So start your weekend off, your college football playoff off with a victory. All right, so what we're going to do with the Miami and Texas A&M game, it is a noon matchup. Texas A&M, Kyle Field hosting the Hurricanes. You better believe for an 11 o'clock Central local time kickoff, this is going to be a raucous environment. It sounds like A&M Aggies fans have been camping out overnight already. Right now it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon, on 5 o'clock in the afternoon on Friday. I think this game is going to be a great game. I could see this coming down to the wire. I could see this going to overtime. Miami has not played well in their only four road games so far this season, while A&M has had an excellent year by all accounts up until that Texas defeat in the last game of the season. Texas really had their way with them. It wasn't a blowout, but Texas A&M did not have a shot to win that game. Many, including me, think that Texas A&M had an inflated-looking schedule. They played a lot of bottom feeders in the SEC. They had an easy SEC schedule by any way, shape, or form, any way you put it. They ran into that buzzsaw that was Texas, scratching and clawing to get into the college football playoff. Perhaps A&M didn't show their best stuff. Marcel Reed, I've been high on this guy all season long. I think he's a great quarterback. I think he's elusive. I think he can get it out of the pocket and do things on the ground with his legs. But he's been turnover prone. And I think A&M's defense, while they do get after the pass, they're top 10 in the country in average sacks per game. They might even be actually top 5 at this point. They have about 3.7 sacks per game. They're going to try to be all over Carson Beck, and I think the crowd is going to help them do that. Miami, on their side, Carson Beck, again, he's not been good on the road this season, but they've had a lot of time to rest, as has A&M. I think Miami is going to be rejuvenated and refreshed by getting into the college football playoff. They have a couple tough losses this year. They lost to SMU. They lost to Louisville. Beck was terrible in both of those games. He's going to have a great performance in this game if Miami's going to win. The name to watch for, the weapon on the Hurricanes, Malachi Toney. This guy is a Swiss Army knife. I think he's going to get the ball a lot to try to silence that crowd that the Aggies will boast. Miami right now, 3.5-point dogs. It's been hovering between 3.5 and 4.5. We're locking it in. Take Miami plus 3.5, lock it and flush it. This offense is going to get going against Texas A&M. The Aggies, their defense has given up a lot of points this season to teams that are strong on offense, that have playmakers. Miami is one of those teams. They've been averaging over 34 points per game in the last 4. They haven't scored fewer than that. I think they're going to put up some points against A&M. It is going to be a tight battle. I actually think the Hurricanes are going to win this game. So if you're feeling squirrely, take that money line. I'm going to go with the points, 3.5 to the Hurricanes. Lock it and flush it. All right, mid-afternoon game. Now we go to the interesting ones with the group of 6 teams. We've got Tulane in another rematch going to Ole Miss. Ole Miss without Lane Kiffin. We all know the stories around that one. We all know the fiasco that was. Is Ole Miss going to be fully bought in and focused on this game? I think they will be. I think their offense, Trinidad Chambliss, I think he'll be intact. I think Harrison Wallace, the Penn State transfer, going over there, he's going to have a big game against Tulane's defense. But on the Tulane side, so they've got John Summerall. He's going to Florida. He's going to be gone from Tulane. They are allowing him to continue to coach out this college football playoff, which I think is good for Tulane. I think it's good for the players over there. He's going to have them just feeling on top of the world. They're playing for their conference. They're playing for all who disrespect the group of 6 teams and say they don't belong. They're also playing for John Summerall's dad. His father just passed away, I believe yesterday or even this morning. I think this is going to give an extra shot into the arm of Tulane. We're all thinking about you, John Summerall. We're all going to be rooting for you in this game. Tulane plus 17.5 is the pick. When they played last time, Ole Miss blew them out of the water. It was 45-10. The difference in that game, they didn't have Jake Retzlaff beyond the first half. He had 50 yards passing. He got injured. He was out. Tulane's been playing great football. Retzlaff's been playing great football as we closed out the season, while Ole Miss, again, head coaching, Kiffin's out of there, what he did to that team. I just think Tulane's going to show up. They're going to be more focused on getting the victory. They're not going to get the victory, but they are going to cover 17.5. Lock it, flush it. All right, the night game, the one that you've all been waiting for. James Madison, the Dukes, They're traveling to Eugene, Oregon, across the country to face the Oregon Ducks. JMU, wow, could not believe this team is representing in the college football playoff. Hats off to them on a great season. The issue with JMU so far this season, they haven't played a team ranked inside of the top 50 in college football. They're certainly going to get that matchup against Oregon this weekend. Oregon at night, it's a tough place to play. It's going to be a 7:30 or 8 o'clock Eastern time kickoff. That puts it, sun's going to be setting in Eugene, Oregon. It's going to be a beautiful scene. That crowd's going to be roaring. We haven't heard a lot about Oregon lately. They've been kind of under the radar after, the last several wins of the season. People have been overlooking them quite a bit. I do think Oregon is kind of the silent killer here in the college football playoff. It's going to be a tough matchup for JMU. However, if you look back historically over the last 2 years, Oregon has surrendered a lot of rushing yards against group of 5, group of 6 type teams that they've matched up against. So JMU, they're going to have to get the ball on the ground. They're going to have to try to move the ball against Oregon's defense, this stout defense that's been playing its best football as of late. Oregon does have a lot of injuries, so JMU, they're going to try to shorten this game. They're going to try to lengthen the drives and try to catch Oregon sleeping in this game. Oregon's defense is going to be able to lock them down. JMU's defense is solid as well, so the question is going to be whether they can lock down Oregon's offense. Outside of Kenyon Sadiq, a lot of their weapons are injured. A lot of these guys may get limited snaps, or they may just be sitting out altogether. We'll see how that plays out. Look for Oregon to run the football quite a bit in this game with Whittington and Davison, the two capable running backs. Each will probably find the end zone. They'll make that happen as they have a lot of this season. And with Oregon smothering defense, I really like this game to just be a long possession game. Maybe not a lot of turnovers. JMU is going to have to take some risks at some points. But I do think the under is the best play on this game. Over-under right now is 45.5. Lock it up and flush it up. I think Oregon's going to win this game, something like 31-10. So I also want you to take Oregon minus 20.5. Lock it and flush it. They're just going to scrape by covering that. Sorry, JMU. I'm rooting for you. I'll be all in for you. I'll be wearing a shirt. We'll be cheering you on in the Fabian household. But ultimately, Oregon is going to prevail. All right, so those are our 5 picks in 4 games. So for Porcelain Picks, I'm Andrew Fabian. We're representing you and bringing you the locks you need as you scroll atop the porcelain throne. Thank you, happy college football, and enjoy the first round.